Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to the vlogs.
Yeah. Oh, there they go. Hey, moving on that road. Hey, sunny day. Hey, even if the sun goes down on you, you gotta keep that shine on top, yeah. On top, yeah. On top, yeah. And even if the sun goes down on you, you gotta keep that shine on top, yeah. On top, yeah. On top, yeah. I'm cruising through the city. Had to get outside, it couldn't get any more pretty. I'm moving, hey, who's coming with me? Swerving on my bike, making 20 feel like 50. Man, they miss me, hey. Got the pedal moving swiftly. Vibe like suns, and I had to raise them strictly. Wishing I could always stay this way, hey. Chilling by the bay, had to make me say that even if the sun goes
Part of this is enjoyable. So we're actually on our way to the airport right now, which seems so crazy. But I'm gonna be on the go for the next day and a half or so. It's gonna be a long journey to where I'm going. But I'm excited to take you guys along. I'm gonna show you guys what traveling is like during this crazy time. I'm even excited to see for myself. So I will see you guys at the airport.
I wanted to give you a high five and then you moved your hand away.
So it is the next day and I made it across the Atlantic safely. After a really long travel day, I basically got the full experience of traveling during Corona with having to take 3 flights, 2 layovers, and 2 buses to get here. So I thought I would use it as an opportunity to share with you guys what traveling is like during this crazy time. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing everything from start to finish about what my travel day was like yesterday, including some advice and tips that I have from all of my previous travel experiences, such as what essentials I carry in my purse and a few things that I do to help me get over long haul flights and make them seem a little bit shorter. So as excited as I am to share my travel experience with you guys, it is obviously not the best time to be talking about travel, so I definitely don't want to promote it until it's safe for everyone to travel again. I just want to be able to share my experience and tell you guys what it was like. And just to be clear, I'm not just randomly traveling. This is basically my second home and where I spent a lot of my time growing up, and my family lives here. So after being in strict quarantine for the past 6 months, once Canada opened up its borders and made it safe to travel again, I booked a flight and here I am. Okay, so first things first, I wanted to share with you guys my travel outfit because a little piece of heaven blessed me with this really cute suit, and I wanted to show you guys because it's basically, I felt like I was bringing a piece of quarantine with me away, if that makes sense, because tie-dye was such a big trend during quarantine. But it's really cute pink set and it came with biker shorts. I don't know if you guys can see, but I wore sweatpants on the plane and then just changed into these when I got here. And the cutest part about it is that it comes with a matching mask on a chain, which is actually so convenient for traveling because you can just slip it on and off and it's always conveniently hanging at your neck. So shout out to Little Piece of Heaven, and I will leave the link to their website down below in the description if you guys want to check them out, and you can feel free to use my discount code if you find anything cute. So first thing I want to talk about is booking flights during this crazy time, because obviously a lot of flights are getting canceled and a lot of airlines aren't running as they normally would. I actually experienced my flight getting canceled back in July when I normally had it scheduled for. So when I was booking this flight, I really paid attention to what airline I was booking with to make sure that they were reliable and wouldn't cancel on me, which is something I normally would not care about and would just choose whichever flight is kind of like the cheaper option or works best for me. But in this case, I really wanted to make sure that it wouldn't get canceled and that I could trust the airline that I'm flying with. So if you're planning on traveling during this time, I don't recommend going for the cheapest option, but instead looking out for reliable airlines and kind of like the big players in the game like Air Canada, Swiss Air. There's this one really cheap flight, I think it's EasyJet and Air Transit Airways, that flies from Toronto to Geneva, and I usually sometimes take that because it's such a good budget-friendly option. But so many EasyJet flights have been getting canceled lately, so I definitely didn't want to pick that one even though it was available. So I ended up going with Swiss Air and Air Canada, and as you'll see really soon, they were a really good choice. As for ticket prices during this time, it kind of goes up and down, and I would say that they are a little bit cheaper than they normally are, but there isn't really that big crazy difference. I was able to get my flight through Aeroplan points due to a previously canceled flight that I had mentioned before. So that kind of just made it easier for me to book and kept me on track with booking with Air Canada. So now you're probably wondering why the hell I had 3 flights and 2 layovers. So normally booking a flight with more layovers takes more time, so it's generally cheaper, and it's something that I actually really enjoyed because having the extra layovers is kind of just like a pause in between your flight that you can get up, get moving, and then get back on the go. And when you're traveling, no matter how long the flight is, I feel like your whole day kind of goes away anyways. So I feel like having layovers can be a fun way to visit cities while you're on the go for just like little stopovers just to see. Obviously I wasn't doing that this time, but it was one of the cheaper options, and because I'm used to it, I really didn't mind it. My first flight flew from Toronto to Montreal, and that's where I had my first layover, and then I flew to Zurich where I had my second layover, and then I finally flew to Geneva, which is where I took the bus from to get to Annecy, which is where I am right now. And I'm so excited to show you guys more of Annecy because it's such a beautiful place. It's known as the Venice of the Alps, and I feel like I've always treated it like home, so I haven't really documented much about it, but every time I come here I realize how beautiful it is, and I can't wait to share more with you guys. Okay, so now for my experience. I started my journey off in Toronto. Okay, so I fully underestimated how hard it would be to vlog in a mask, but I got through security check. The airport has never been emptier and cleaner, so I feel really safe, and now I'm on my way to my gate, so I will see you guys soon. So my boyfriend dropped me off at the airport, and he wasn't able to come in because the airports are restricted to flyers or airport crew only, which I think is part of the reason of why the airport was so calm and quiet and peaceful. I don't know about you guys, but I usually associate airports with chaos. People are usually running around, laughing, crying, whatever it may be, and there's just all these unnecessary people there to add stress to the situation. Everyone had masks on and everyone was socially distancing in lineups, so it just felt really empty and the lineups were moving so fast. So the whole check-in process was really, really easy. And then they checked everyone's temperature before security check, and again, security check was just so empty and amazing. I wish traveling was always like this. And you know when you're standing in line for security check and they'll be like, okay, you go there, you go there, you go there, you go there, and they can sometimes unfairly select which lineup you have to go into. Well, this time the airport crew was on top of it. They were making sure everyone had their own lineup so that there was literally no people. And mind you, I was flying at 4 p.m., which is usually a pretty busy time for the airport. So anyways, security check was really easy, and then I walked to my gate. My first flight was from Toronto to Montreal, and it was amazing because even though it was a full flight, they made sure that every passenger had an empty seat beside them. So I sat close to the window and there was a passenger on the aisle, but we had the middle seat in between us as kind of like our socially distancing space, which was really awesome because nothing sucks more than being on a crowded flight and having to sit next to people worrying about a virus.
La cabine change, un masque à oxygène tombera. Ajustez les bandes élastiques pour le maintenir sur votre nez et
Masks had to be worn throughout the entire flight. Obviously, you could take it off if you want to eat or drink something, but generally everyone had them on at all times. And normally you would think that it would be torturous to have to wear a mask for so long, but it actually surprisingly wasn't too bad at all. I find that planes are often really, really cold, and the cabin temperature is just like too cold for me. So having a mask on was kind of like having an extra face blanket, and I didn't mind it at all. And I guess because you have the space in between the people, taking it off to eat or drink isn't something that you have to worry about. Okay, so my very first layover was 5 hours long, which seems so long. It was already pretty late and the airport was pretty empty and quiet, but there were a few restaurants open. So I got myself a table at the U-Bar and had dinner and did some work, and then some girl started playing piano right next to me, and it was so pretty. reminded me of how much I regret not practicing more. So after that, I walked over to my gate and I still had about an hour to my flight, and my gate was pretty crowded because people were starting to gather for check-in. So I just found a gate nearby with no people and used that time to fit in a little airport stretch, which is such a game changer, especially for long flights. I am not somebody who likes sitting for long periods of time, and I find that like my neck, my back, just my whole body gets really stiff. So doing any type of stretching that I can before it, even during it or after it, is something that I started doing, and it makes it so much better. I tried to film it at the airport while I was doing it, but I'm just too awkward to vlog in public, and I also had a mask on, so it's not happening. Also, this stretch is totally not limited to airports. You can literally do it anywhere. It's just a very shortened version of my full body stretch routine, and one that can be easily done in public without having to like touch the floor. And then I'll also show you guys my in-flight stretch routine that you can also easily do at the office or when you're stuck in traffic or literally sitting for long periods of time, wherever that may be. Okay, so this is me making it onto my second flight from Montreal to Zurich, which was Swiss Air, and I can't begin to tell you how much I love Swiss Air. So they greeted us with Swiss chocolate, so automatically I was like, so I had an aisle on this flight. When I first got to my seat, there was somebody sitting at the window seat right next to me, and I was like, whoa, this must be a full flight. I don't know how I feel about this because I have 6 hours to go. I don't even know why they would book 2 passengers right next to each other on a fully empty flight, but who knows, maybe a lot of people canceled last minute. So naturally, as soon as we took off, I moved to the row behind us and had a full 2 seats to myself. I could have picked one of the 3, but I just like being by the window when I fly. It was an overnight flight too, so the space was much needed, and I was able to get a semi-decent sleep. Ooh, so back to my point of booking flights with travel rewards cards. They give you the option to request a special meal, and it's included in the price of your ticket. And I always request a fruit platter, which is the best because airplane food is just meh, and it's also really high in sodium, which just leaves you really dehydrated. So yeah, on this flight they did serve food. Also, Swiss Air is the best because they just have silver cutlery on planes. Like, what other airline has silver cutlery on planes? So one of my pro tips to traveling is always having your own snacks. Whether it's fruits and veggies or crackers, it's guaranteed to be better than what you'll get on the plane. I also recommend eating foods that are really hydrating because our bodies are naturally really dehydrated up in the air due to the altitude and the cabin pressure. So having hydrating foods is just going to make you feel overall better during your flight, and when you arrive, it will actually help you fight jet lag and feel less fatigued. When I get into showing you guys what essentials I carry in my bag, I will get more into the details of what I bring on a flight to kind of help with all of that. I literally end up traveling with the biggest tote I own because you never know what you might need when you're on the go. So I'm going to show you guys a few things that I bring with me and a few things that I've kind of learned over time that have helped me with traveling and just making longer flights seem a little bit shorter and making them easier. So first things first, your passport. My friend gave me this passport holder a while ago, and it's honestly been the most convenient thing ever. I can have my passport in here as well as like my boarding passes and anything else that I might need when I'm traveling, as opposed to having to take out your wallet each time. So this has been really great. Then I also have my wallet just in case. And then I always have a beauty / self-care kit, and inside here I just have anything that's going to help me with hydration throughout the flight. So lip balm, for example, this one by Fresh has been really nice, and it smells so good too. Then the Summer Fridays jet lag mask, which is the best hydrating serum product that I've ever tried, and it's honestly such a savior on long flights. And just like our skin, our hair might get dehydrated too, so I've been using the Gizu hair oil. And hand sanitizer, obviously. Hand cream. And then I also always just bring a few supplements with me that help me with hydration throughout the flight and just to keep my immune system good on the go. So I've been taking the prebiotic and probiotic powder. You just add it to your water and it has a nice citrusy taste to it. This one's from Organica, and I always just take one whenever I'm flying. And then they recently just launched their Effervescent Collagen Drops, and I am obsessed with these. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already know, but I am obsessed with the rose flavor. And these are just tablets that you add to your water, and they give it a nice subtle taste. And they have vitamin C in there and collagen, so just to help with hydration and keeping water taste good. Another great supplement that I sometimes take is magnesium. Magnesium definitely just like helps you relax and have a more relaxing flight, just helps you put you to sleep, especially if it's an overnight flight, then that is a must. What else do I have in here? Pair of socks, always, because cabins are always the coldest and I can't do with cold. Then I have a bag full of masks, and these are just those like reusable ones, so I can switch it up and not be stuck using the same one the entire flight. Then this is the goodie bag that I got while I was on my flight, and it just had an extra mask in there, some gloves, hand sanitizer, and antiseptic wipes. So have that. More hand sanitizer, obviously. This one is Dr. Bronner's. I think it's from Whole Foods, and you can get it at any like natural health food store, but this one smells like peppermint, and then I also have the lavender one, and they're just really nice in their spray bottles, so I really like them as opposed to all the Purell that I've been seeing everywhere that smells so bad. Then I always have my makeup bag. I tend to steer away from wearing makeup on flights, as you've seen on this video, but I always bring it with me so that I can put it on before I arrive. And deodorant. And then I have my sunglasses and a bag full of my electronic stuff. So this one just has all of my charging cords and charging cables, and then just some adapters. I find that it's really important to bring adapters with you because not all airports will have the USB charging cables, so having adapters with you is just a good thing to have. A hair clip, obviously. I also always try to have a reusable water bottle with me. Most airports do have filtered water fountains, so you can just bring a reusable bottle with you and fill it up wherever. I also obviously always have snacks with me. I ate them all, so I don't have any to show you right now, but snacks are important because, like I was saying earlier, airport food is just not the way to go if you're looking to arrive feeling your greatest. So, and yeah. Let me know what you guys bring if I missed anything, because I can't think straight right now, but these are, I think, the essentials that I always need and have, as well as like my book, my laptop, or anything that will keep me busy on a flight. So this was the long flight that required a stretch, so I am going to switch over. Okay, so long story short, I tried to film this for you guys on the actual airplane, but it was rather hard, especially because of the turbulence and everything. So I'm gonna show you guys right now what I do. It literally takes 5 minutes, and I find that if I do it like every couple hours, especially on like a long flight, or even when you're stuck at traffic, or if I have a long office day, I always just do it at my desk, and it just makes you feel like a new human again, so. So basically you'll want to adjust this routine depending on where you're at, but I'm gonna try to do it as like compact as possible. So we'll pretend like we're sitting in an airplane, there's like 2 people next to you. Okay, so first things first, you just want to give yourself a nice little lengthening stretch, and then bend to the side. And the trick to not having to bend fully to the side is just to pull your opposite arm, and that creates a deeper stretch without the need for you to actually like lean over and bug the person next to you. Just do that both ways, holding each way for like 5 to 10 seconds. But I always say just hold for as long as feels comfortable to you. Okay. Now you're going to place one hand on your knee and open up towards one side. This is just a nice lengthening stretch for your side. And same thing the other way. Okay, so now you want to extend your hands out towards you and curl the middle of your back towards the seat. I don't know if you guys can see, but basically you're gonna look like this. And just tuck your chin away towards your chest, creating a nice little back bend. And then from here, you're going to come back up, just looking up towards the ceiling, and give yourself a nice little back stretch. And this basically just mimics the cat and cow that we usually do on our knees. And just going back and forth here for a few times. There we go. Now you're going to extend one hand towards in front of you, grab your hands, and just pull your fingers back. You should feel a nice stretch along your entire arm all the way through to the shoulder. There we go. Same thing with the other hand. I also find that it feels really nice if you just take your thumb and literally just push it back. You can play around and see what feels best for you. That brings us to our next one. So you're going to extend one arm above you. You're going to flex your arm this time, and you're going to stretch it to the side. And same thing with the other arm. That flex position is just going to create more of a stretch. Okay. And then, if you have room, I don't know, in some planes or most planes you probably won't, so if you're sitting at the aisle, you'll have to like turn 3/4 towards the walkway. But you're gonna extend one foot in front of you, and you're gonna flex your foot. You should feel a nice hamstring stretch here. And then here you're going to curl your head and towards your chest and just extend your arms. And then you're just gonna point your toe and flex your toe, point your toe, and flex your toe. And then you're gonna come up, and then now you're gonna look down without curling your back. And then you'll feel an increased stretch in your hamstring. And just again, a few more times. Flexing, pointing, flexing, pointing, flexing, pointing. And same thing with the other foot. So you're gonna extend it in front of you, curl your back, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Now coming up and curling your head back down. You don't have to have your arms extended for this second part. You can have them next to you wherever you'd like, but just make sure that your head is down. And when you're pointing and flexing, you're gonna feel a nice stretch all the way through your hamstring up into your back. Just doing this for as many times as you feel comfortable. And then we're going to reach downwards towards the floor again. In some cases you won't be able to do this, but if you're doing this in the office or stuck in traffic, then you might be able to. And then you're going to extend one arm towards the ceiling or the sky. And then come back down. And the other way. And just doing this a few times. So you might not be able to do this specific stretch on the actual plane, but you can do it in the airport while you're waiting. And you actually might be able to do it on planes. There you go. And then if you have the room to, again, you're going to take your foot, place it on your knee. And this is just a good hip stretch and a good hip opening stretch. So you're just going to push down using your elbow onto your knee. And you should feel a nice stretch along your hip and your glute. You can flex your foot here, you can point it, whatever feels comfortable. And just staying here for a few seconds. The other foot. I think the hardest part about stretching in a plane is getting over the awkward stares that you're going to get from other people. But I've learned to not care. I used to care about people looking at me, whatever it is, whatever it was that I was doing. And I've honestly gotten so good with just not caring. Because at the end of the day, you're doing something that's good for yourself. And if they had any idea what you were doing, they'd probably join you. People are just quick to judge. Or you probably think that they're judging, even though they're not. They're just looking curious. Everyone's curious in this world. Okay, and then last stretch is you're going to crisscross your arms into and meet your hands, or as close as you can, together. And then here you're just going to push them upwards, and this is just going to create a really nice shoulder stretch. All across your upper back, you should feel it coming back down. coming up, down, up, down, up, down, and then crossing your hands over the other way. Again, just holding here for a few seconds to give yourself a nice little stretch, and then going down, up, down, up, down, and up. And now we're going to do 3 big circles with our shoulders, going one way and then going the other way. And then from here, we can just give our neck a nice little stretch to one side, to the other side, and coming back down, just pushing, using your 2 hands to push on the back of your head and using your head to resist a little bit. It'll create a nice stretch for the back of your neck. And then to end your little sitting stretch, we should call it, you're just gonna curl towards your knees. You don't have to go all the way down, so you can literally do the stretch anywhere. And then you're just gonna curl upwards, bone by bone, really slowly, with your head being the last to rise. And you should feel each bone in your back kind of stand up taller and straighter. Ta-da! Also on this flight, at the beginning, they gave everyone a contact card where you had to fill out your entire travel itinerary, as well as like your address and your name, and that I guess just kind of gives them an idea if you've come into contact with anyone with corona, so they can always contact you. So that was the only other thing that I guess changed, other than having to wear a mask. So second layover was only a couple hours and it flew by really fast, and I actually found it really interesting to find out that masks weren't actually mandatory at the Zurich airport, because I guess they don't have as many cases as other parts of Switzerland. I know Geneva has the most amount of cases in Switzerland, but in Zurich, as long as you were socially distancing and be able to keep your distance 6 feet apart from other people, then you weren't required to wear a mask. Of course, if you weren't able to socially distance, then they asked you to wear a mask. I wear my mask the whole time to be safe, but just a little fun fact and a little reassurance that things are getting better, at least in some places. So hopefully that will translate to the rest of the world very, very soon.
Flying high like the birds and the bees, and we'll fill the sky with the songs and the trees, cause we're buzzing, buzzing, and we're humming, humming, and we're loving, loving all day. Flying high like the birds and the bees, and we're feeling alive while we float with the breeze, cause we're buzzing, buzzing, and we're humming.
Getting my baggage in Geneva was really quick and easy, and then I had to take a bus from the airport to the train station here in Annecy, which is a little town in France where I currently am. That's about an hour away from Geneva. The bus was really empty, but then more people started to get on as we went through the stop, but everyone was wearing their masks, so overall it was okay, and I just kept hand sanitizing every 5 minutes to be safe. And then once I got to the train station, instead of taking another bus back home, I decided to walk the hour with my luggage. Don't ask me why the hill to my house is literally this steep, but it was a workout, and today my glutes hurt, so you know what, I feel great, and I'm gonna do a nice little glute stretch. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any other questions about traveling during COVID or about any of the things I talked about in this video, then please put them down. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I can't wait to show you guys more while I'm here in this beautiful paradise. Also, if you aren't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm so excited to be teaming up with Little Piece of Heaven to do a little fun giveaway for you guys really soon, so make sure to check it out so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.
Hey guys. Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna do that.
Hey guys.
Oh.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the vlogs.